Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't catch the live stream, it's official, man. I seen them getting off the plane, I think earlier today or yesterday, but Julio Jones is in Tennessee as a Tennessee Titans new addition at wide receiver. I felt like I kind of predicted this move a while back when I did that Julio video. Even on social media, I kind of pushed the edge towards the Titans because they did need another wide receiver. So I felt like I gave them that extra push when it comes to negotiation. Now I know it wasn't me like literally, but I think I kind of like wished it. I felt like I wished it. I mentioned the Patriots, the Colts, and the Titans. I think I said the 49ers too, but we knew he wasn't going to San Francisco, being as though they're still in the NFC. But yeah, man, he's in Tennessee. I think it's a good pickup for them. I think my predictions of us going 2-0 against them has changed now. My prediction has totally changed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Adding Julio to the team makes them better. It really does. It really does make them better. Now I know some of you guys in the comment section, of course, you're going to mention the defense and secondaries and everything, but sometimes you don't really need the best players to be successful. I tell you guys this in every other video. It's relying on scheme over team. It really is. So when it comes to the Tennessee Titans, do I think they're going to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. But I think their chances of going there is much higher. Also, another chance that is higher is them winning the AFC South. I did have us winning the AFC South before this Julio move, but now that they acquired Julio Jones, who is another target that might make the field open, I feel like they have a better chance of winning it. I do see us going 1-1 next year, just being realistic. Now, of course, the things can change overall going into the season. We don't know how they will play. They can be successful. It can be miserable, but I can tell you one thing, Julio Jones will produce. I think his production will have nothing to do with the team being that bad. If they do have a bad record or they don't be as good as they were last year, I think the defense will be a big part of that. Now, another thing that you guys should take inside of is they're probably going to have one of the best pass rushing games going into next season with the players they have acquired. Now, they do have promise. Now, do that mean that they will have it? Probably not. But by looking on roster, they do have a really good pass rush scheme going into next season. So that's one of the things or the reasons why I think they will be decent still going to next year. And, of course, they still have the best running back in the NFL, which is Derrick Henry. There's no knocking that. You guys slandered Ryan Tannehill's production. Most people think it's going to go decline next year. And I think he can only get better. To be honest, Ryan Tannehill's never been a terrible quarterback. I think most players like Ryan Tannehill, when they play in certain organizations, the system is really an issue with the player's production. One of those reasons why I use that excuse is because Carson Wentz. You guys some fans do praise Carson Wentz and thinks he's going to go back to regular form. So why can't we think about that with Tannehill's production? He left I think he was on Miami, and then he went to Tennessee, and his game was phenomenal. His game, it really upgraded when he went to Tennessee. So I think the system and teams really plays a big role into players' productions. Ryan Tannehill, I don't think he'll decline at all. I think if anybody was to decline, it would be Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is not perfect. Nobody's going to be immortal. Of course, there's going to be a slump every now and then, but I think Derrick Henry, if anybody was to decline, it'll be his production. Being as though that they have multiple weapons now, I really think they're going to have to switch their scheme up. Their scheme originally was just to give Henry the ball and just call it a day. But I think with a guy like Julio, even though he says he's win first and doesn't really care about his stats like that, I think they're going to develop plays for him. Being as though you look at the division, it's no other option. Of course, you have Derrick Henry, but I think that for this division, I really do think Julio is going to get fed, especially when you got teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars, who has good corners, but they're not developed all the way. And then you have the Houston Texans, who's pretty much dismal. I mean, why would you not try to get Julio involved in games like that? Would you play 2 times a year? So I think that'll play a big role in him and the Titans switching up their role and kind of, taking the ball away from Derrick Henry. Now, we know Derrick Henry is the Jacksonville killer. He literally destroys Jacksonville and Houston pretty much every time they play. But I really do think Julio Jones is going to be productive in Tennessee. Like I said, it doesn't make them the best team in the NFL. It doesn't make them the best team in the AFC South. But I think most people really put age into a factor when it's not needed. It really isn't. Age has nothing to do with a certain player's production. T.Y. Hilton, you guys wanted T.Y. Hilton back. Age didn't matter bringing him back to the Indianapolis Colts, because I guarantee you he would have been successful in any other organization. I think when you look at a player, their talent really overdoes their age. Some players are still fast. Some people keep their speed, some people don't. Some people lose talent. It all depends on, the procedures you take to keep that rhythm and, to keep that stride. It's all it's all about your mindset going into the season. It really is. And of course, the game's changing year by year. Of course, players get faster over time. But you got freakish athletes like, DK Metcalf and everything. But, but nobody's perfect. There's a bunch of Julio Joneses out there. But there's only one Julio Jones, if you know what I mean. So, he's a route technician, really good at good route running. He can catch the football over two people. He can go get you those receiving yards. And that's a big thing for Tennessee. Now, Tannehill pretty much has no excuse at this point. When it comes to being a good quarterback, he doesn't have an excuse. He has two good weapons. A.J. Brown's going to learn a lot from Julio. That's another good reason why Julio to Tennessee. But for the Colts' perspective, when we play them, it's not going to be a high-scoring shootout, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a shootout when we play this team. I think if we want to really beat the Titans twice, I think it's going to come down to the Colts beating the Colts. We have to stick to our scheme. We have to stick to our game plan. And that's managing the clock, running the football, and not committing a lot of turnovers. And I think that is the one reason why I think we'll have a good chance of beating the Tennessee Titans. Containing Derrick Henry, keeping composure on offense, and not going for the high score on every possession. Don't try to go for the deep balls. Just play the clock, play conservative, and win the game. Like I said, Julio to Tennessee is a great pickup for them. I'm jealous because I wish it was us. You guys seen the trade that went down. Some people thought it was going to be first-round picks and all this good jazz, but I tried to tell you Julio wasn't going for a first. And I think for the Falcons and Tennessee, I think it was a good trade, both sides. I think it was a good trade. Now, some people might not think that, but you're not thinking from the organization's perspective. Some people mention salary cap, but when you're trying to win a Super Bowl, I told you this in the videos before, salary cap does not matter when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. Simple as that. So, like I said, it was a good move. I wish we had Julio, but, wish nothing but the best of luck. Darius Leonard is excited that there's more competition in the AFC South now, so he's motivated. I hope you guys are motivated as well. Don't try to downplay a move. Put your fandom to the side. Become a regular person for just 2 minutes, because negativity gets you nowhere. It really doesn't. Negativity gets you nowhere. And we're a classy fan base. So just keep it classy, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep it classy. Move on. Keep positive energy going into next season, because those negative energies can really, really mess up this Colts team. It really can. We got so much unproven talent. So if you stay positive minded, I'm pretty sure it'll work off at the end. But, keep it positive minds. Congratulations. Julio's out of Atlanta. Best of luck to him in Tennessee. If they don't succeed, it's better for us. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. Let me know your thoughts on this Julio Jones move. If you didn't watch the live stream, this is just a pickup. Let me know your thoughts on Julio, and let me know your whole thoughts on the Colts playing the Titans next season. Until next time, this is Marcus, and you've been Culture Shock.